Hey guys, welcome back to another Virgo Girl recommendation, and I'm so excited to tell you guys about this recommendation today because it has Jake Gyllenhaal. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he's an amazing actor, and not only is he an amazing actor, he's an actor that plays a lot of diverse roles, so I really respect that. But at any rate, going back to Prisoners. Prisoners is an amazing, amazing movie, and it's on Netflix. So check it out, guys. You will not be sorry that you watched this one. It is a thriller, a crime thriller, and it's just really exciting. It's like it has all the suspense that you want. And then it also has kind of like that crime element where in your mind you're trying to figure out what in the hell happened kind of thing. Also, I do love the ending of this movie, although it has a lot of horrific things in it. At the end, it's like, I like the ending. So that's another reason why I'm recommending it, because the ending could have went a totally different way. And I like the way they made the ending kind of bring everything together. But after everything that you watch in this movie, it's just takes you on a roller coaster ride, and it makes you just question everything, and then the ending kind of like brings everything kind of back together, and it's like, okay, it kind of like, it's like, okay, I can kind of breathe again a little bit, but not really. But anyway, it's just a great movie. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to ruin it for you, but it is on Netflix. It has none other than Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman, Paul Dano. Now those gentlemen, they all in their own right did an amazing job. Okay, first of all, Paul Dano, kudos to him. Wow. He played, I want to say, the villain in the movie, if you will, kind of. But, I want to say there was more than one villain, depending on how you look at it in the movie. But he definitely played like one of the quote-unquote villains. Jake Gyllenhaal, I'm so happy that they put him in the role that they put him in, because he could have easily played Hugh Jackman's role as well, I feel like. So I don't know. I feel like he could have played Hugh Jackman's role too. But I'm glad that he did the role that he did, which was an amazing role. He played a police officer, and he did a good job with it. We had Viola Davis in it, and I really enjoyed her in it, and Terrence Howard. They were actually a couple, which was different to see, but it was also really cool. They played kind of like a nerdy, Terrence Howard played more of like a nerd, which is, I've seen him play like a more nerdy role, I think, one other time, but generally he plays like a different type of role. So it was kind of refreshing to see him as like the nerdy dad type. So I like that. Viola Davis, amazing as usual. We had Maria Bello, Melissa Leo, and just a phenomenal cast. I think everyone did a wonderful job, all of the actors. Basically, in a nutshell, this is a film about how, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to ruin it, but basically it's a film about two kids who are like playing, and they go and they like mess with this like weird looking, how, like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I'm walking and I see like a van, like an old van, and it's like parked on the side of the road, or an old camper, it always freaking creeps me out, because I'm like, who's in that van? And what in the world are they doing? And for me, I live in LA, and in LA, I see that quite a bit sometimes. Like, people just like vans, like strange vans just parked, and like to have to walk beside them, it's just kind of like always weird. It's just like, I can't, it's kind of hard to explain unless you've seen it, but if you've seen it, I'm sure you know what I mean. Most of the time, people who have like those vans are probably harmless, but there are times when they're not. So be careful. Be careful. It's always better to be careful, right? But at any rate, these kids, that was the situation. One of these creepy camper like things were pulled over to the side of the road, and the kids like were banging on it, and they were like messing with it, as kids do, from time to time. And then nothing happened at that time, but eventually the kids something does happen with the camper, you know, like, so the first time they messed with it, it was like someone was in there and they like saw the kids, and then, you know, one of their older siblings came to get them. And so nothing happened at that point, but it kind of turned out like maybe or maybe not. So something happened with the kids, but it was like, did something, was it the people in the van or who did it? That's what the whole movie's about. They're trying to figure out who did something to these kids, right? And I'm not going to say what happened, but, you know, basically that was the whole thing. They're trying to figure out what happened because they do remember that the kids messed with the van. And also it kind of like, oh my gosh, this movie, it's very disturbing. So if you're triggered easily by things, I don't know if this is a movie for you, but if you're pretty tough, you know, it's not like, for me, it didn't bother me like to watch it because I watch dark movies, I watch crime movies, and I am okay with it. But it is kind of disturbing. A lot of the things in there there are some disturbing things. I'll just put it like that. There is this one scene with snakes that's just weird because there's like a lot of snakes, and that's just kind of weird. It was just weird. And then there's also scenes where kind of like torture. You know, you see like someone being tortured. So yeah, it's kind of gruesome a little bit in certain parts. So it has all of that element to it. But for the most part, overall, it's just an amazing movie, and it has you guessing. And it does seem like a true story to a certain extent, the way it plays out. So I like the way they directed the movie. I love the acting, and I just love the plot. The whole thing is fantastic, and that's why I'm recommending it to you guys. So go ahead, check it out, Prisoners. Let me know below if you've already seen it, what you think about it. What did you think about my boy Jake Gyllenhaal, etc., etc., etc. If you haven't seen it and you watch it, feel free to comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And until next time, guys, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.